In this question, we're asked to do some mathematical operations with measurements which have a certain number of significant figures. And this happens all the time in chemistry. So we need to know the rules for how to deal with significant figures when we're doing some type of mathematical calculation involving measurements. So there's two things that we basically need to go over. We need to go over the general rule and then the specific rules for adding and subtracting and for multiplying and dividing. So the general rule is that the result of the calculation should have the same number of significant figures as the least accurate measurement that was used. So essentially, if you make one measurement very accurately and another measurement not very accurately, and you add them together, you have to report your answer not very accurately to match the one that's the least accurate. And there are some specific ways we do this for adding and subtracting and for multiplying and dividing. And they're a little bit different. For adding and subtracting, the answer should be reported with the same number of decimal places as the measurement with the least number of decimal places used in the calculation. So it's about the decimal places. So if one number has one decimal place and another one has 4, the answer should have one decimal place. When multiplying and dividing, it's a little bit different. In this case, the answer should be reported with the same number of significant figures as the measurement with the least number of significant figures used in the calculation. So if you multiply two numbers and one has 4 significant figures and the other one only has one significant figure, your answer should only have one significant figure. So when adding and subtracting, we consider the decimal places. When multiplying and dividing, we consider the significant figures. So that's basically how this works. Note that calculators do not do significant figures properly very often. Sometimes by coincidence they do, but oftentimes they don't give you the right number of significant figures. So it's a good idea to pause this video and write down these rules, and then we'll apply them, in this case only to adding and subtracting, but in later cases we may apply them to multiplying and dividing. So here I'm going to give us two different answers, the calculator and then the final answer that should be reported. So when I take 16.67 grams and subtract 0.870 grams, my calculator will tell me 16.8 will be the number on the calculator. However, because since I'm adding and subtracting, in this case specifically subtracting, I need to go by the decimal places. This one has 2 decimal places, and this one has 3 decimal places. So I need to report my answer to 2 decimal places, but the calculator only gave me 1 decimal place. So I need to add a second decimal place, which is a 0. So I report this as 16.80, and I also have to include the unit, grams. In the second case, I have 5.50 grams minus 1.2 grams. The calculator will tell me 4.3. This has 2 decimal places, and this only has 1 decimal place, so my answer should have 1 decimal place. Just by coincidence, the calculator got it right and had the right number of decimal places, in this case 1. In the last example, I have 19.5 grams plus 0.970 grams. When I do the calculator, I get 20.47. Now I look at the decimal places, 1 decimal place here, and 3 decimal places here. So I need to report my answer with 1 decimal place, which means I need to do 20.4. But because the next digit's a 7, I need to round up. So I want to report 20.5 grams.